Hi guys, hello on YouTube. This is the last day, day 3 of our social media live training on baking for business. So today's the last day I'll be going live for this particular segment. As you guys know by now, I am going live triple lives. So gonna give me a few seconds to go live on Facebook and Instagram, and then I'll get started. Hi guys on Facebook. This is Maureen Kamari of Amari Baking Center. This is my last day, day 3 of this week of this free business training. As you guys know, I triple live, so I'm about to go live on Instagram as well, and I'm live on YouTube. As you join me, make sure to say hi. Hello, people on Instagram. Maureen Kamari here of Amari Baking Center, going live the last day 3 of this training. As you join me, please make sure you say hi. If you're on YouTube, make sure to comment, give permissions to StreamYard. I'm using a software called StreamYard, so as you join me, say hi. Hello, Rito Mangani. Thanks for joining me. I always love that. As you guys join me on Instagram and Facebook, say hi. Hi, Mark. Hello. Love bubbles. Hit them love bubbles and then say hi. So today's day 3 of our social media live training, but really baking for business training. On day 1, I talked about asking yourself if you really want to be an entrepreneur. Is this something you are ready for? I also talked about how to find your niche and the niche statements you should have. You should know what you're selling, who you're selling to, and what need you are solving. So that's what we talked about day 1. If you haven't watched after this live, you could go back and watch day 1 and day 2. Instagram, sorry, we lost the video on day 2. So we have the link for day 2 on the YouTube. So make sure you check it out on YouTube. All of them are up there. Hello, Rito, all the way from SA. Ooh, yay. If you missed yesterday, that's okay. It's actually up on our playlist. So when you finish watching this one, you can just go watch it later. So thank you so much for joining me on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you hit those love bubbles. So again, short training. I know you guys are very busy, especially as the week goes by to the end, gets busier Friday, Saturday. And so I'm just going to explain what it is today that I am talking about. So again, I hope you get time to actually sit down and, watch this really nicely. Even if you're watching after, because we do repost, and really Instagram, we won't lose it today, promise. So we do try and repost this so that people can watch later and watching. So today I want to cover 2 things. I want to talk about the importance of costing and pricing correctly. And then I also want to talk about a little bit about marketing and why it is important, right? Because all of us as bakers obviously need to make sure that we're selling cakes. And for us to be able to sell cakes, we need to market and let people know we're selling cakes. But the reason why I always start with costing and pricing is because I am always afraid and almost, I feel bad for, I just hate hearing stories of bakers who didn't cost and price it appropriately. And then they started selling. And the funny thing about that, you can be so successful in selling, yet if you're selling at a loss, you are very successfully bringing your business down, right? So the reason I always start with costing and pricing is because you need to cost and price correctly. Now, the one thing I'll tell you is that no live will ever be able to cover costing and pricing to the utmost. And so every time I come up on this topic, and feel free to comment below if you have any question on costing and pricing, but we have a free group on that. We have a free group on that, Mark. I see costing and pricing is a challenge. So here's the thing. If you want the nitty gritty, the meat of it, how to actually cost, how to actually price, there's 2 options with us. So number 1 is free. And on Facebook, you go look for Amari Online Community. It is a Facebook group. You look for that and you have to answer the questions. We do try and keep spammy people out. So that's why you have to answer the question so we can approve you. Once you're approved, go to the guide section and check one of them that says costing and pricing. It's also in the announcement section. Once you join the group, go to the announcement section and check for costing and pricing. And it's like a bunch of videos where we show you how to actually cost and price a 1 kg white forest. And what's that gonna do is it's gonna help you be able to price your cake and see exactly how to do it. Now, this is for a target market of like a home baker. It goes in depth. I don't want to tell you it goes very in depth, but it does go in depth to the best, especially if you're getting started or you're struggling. That's a good place to start. So that's a free resource. The paid resource we have, even though it's not available this month, we just closed intake, is we have a very intensive 4-week online costing and pricing class. And we're going to be offering it every month, even though our next one's actually going to be in, what month are we in? September. It's going to be in September. And that's usually 1,500 shillings, Kenya shillings. And it's 4 weeks. And that one is so intensive. We cover a home baker, like a 1 kg vanilla. We cover batch products, like if you do puff pastry and scones. We cover wedding cakes and custom cakes. And all of that, we have an Excel sheet in which we give you, and you just kind of change it up a little bit with the figures, and you're able to do that yourself. So it's more intensive, has a lot of content. A lot of people have changed their menus after taking that class. So it's huge. It's also included in our mentorship class that started today. So I'll be sharing a little bit of that for anyone who's interested. Okay, so that's what I have to say about costing and pricing, the nitty-gritty parts, right? Because the point is just finding the cost of the ingredients, packaging, add the expenses. That's where people get stuck a little bit, the direct, indirect costs or the operational costs. And so that's something you can get from the group that I'm talking about. Now, once you find the cost, remember you have to price. Once you find that cost, you have to price. Hello, Flemzella, how are you? Say, thank you so much for joining me. Say hi, guys, when you come. Instagram, Facebook, Love Bubbles. Nice to see you guys on YouTube. So when you cost, then you have to price, right? Because bakers think, I've costed, I'm good. No, you have to price now. And it's funny how you will discover things in business are all related. They're all kind of have to come together, because when it comes to pricing, you don't just come up with a price. And yes, I know there's a lot of bakers who love doing what we call cost-based pricing, which means you find a cost, you add a price, and that's it. The reason why you're struggling with selling is because you're not doing the homework that is required to do after that and then price correctly. Because you have to look at what's my niche, what's my target market, what are they looking for, then price after that. Yes, it's also good to have percentages in there, percent profit. So there's many things to consider, location and all that when it comes to pricing. So that's one of the things that's covered in the free group, and of course more in depth in the mentorship and also in the paid group. So just letting you know, you can literally right after this live, go find the group and check that out, and it'll make sense. If you want to go in depth, I'll mention how you can join the mentorship. So costing and pricing is important, as we've just heard. If you want the detail, you can get it. But the one thing I want to tell you guys, the importance of pricing correctly is you need to make sure you properly cost your products first, right? And then use the right strategies to price your goods so that you start attracting the correct target market, right? They will buy your products without complaint. And even when they're the right target market, even when they complain a little bit, it'll be like on delivery or something like that, and that you can work with. But if you're approaching the right target market and you're doing the right things and you're pricing the right way, usually they will not complain so much. You will get like maybe 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 people complaining. Okay, so just a heads up on why you need to cost and price appropriately. Now, today, my topic is on marketing. And so you might be wondering, like, okay, why is it important for me to start with costing and pricing? Like I just mentioned, you have to have the right costing accurately and pricing so that you're not selling at a loss. So that when you know my costing and my pricing is correct, and then remember we talked day one, you have your niche, right? You know what you're selling. You know who you're selling to, and you know the need you're solving, right? With those two things, you can come and create a very amazing, like a very good marketing strategy that attracts the right people, and then you're able to sell them. So I hope that's making sense, guys. You can comment below and let me know. So you cost and price correctly, then you understand your niche and your target market, and then you're able to come and market to them. And then they will buy from you without a lot of friction that a lot of bakers, I know you have that friction, right? So if anybody's struggling with that would make sense. Or if you're selling and you're not sure about your pricing, that's what's happening, right? Hi, Fiona on YouTube. So I just wanted to mention that you have to make sure you get the order correct. That's why I'm sharing this correctly. Pearl cakes. When you say niche, does it mean you can serve different niches? Well, pearl cakes, here's what I have to say about that. You can. The more resources you have, the more niche you can serve. But the problem is most bakers, or let me assume my target market is home baker. So you're either a home baker or you have a small business, right? And a small business means you have a team of up to like maybe 20 at the most. So if you're a home baker or a small business owner, pearl cakes, by the way, let me know. Like, are you a solopreneur? Do you just like bake and maybe get help for decoration, or do you have a big team? If you have like a medium, like a bigger small business, like a medium to large, you can serve different niches. But realize the smaller you are, the less your resources, which means it's more expensive to market to different niches. So the reason why I talk to you guys this way, because I'm assuming 90% of you are probably home bakers or small business owners, which means your resources aren't expansive. You don't have like, a million shillings a month for Facebook ads. That's what I'm talking about. The reason why that's important, pearl cakes, is because marketing in itself, understanding it and taking the time and the money is expensive, by the way. I know this literally by actual doing it and by learning over time. So what happens is when you have less resources, you want to maybe go on Facebook organically and you want to talk to people and you're talking to many people. So people won't understand you. Like, if you don't have what I need, I'm going to keep scrolling because you're not making sense to me. However, if you're very niche and you keep talking to me over time, I will buy from you, right? Because you're making sense to me. You're talking to me, right? If I go right now and I start telling people, if you have a small budget and you can market, and I'm talking to Ken Blessed or large enterprise, they don't understand me because they're like, we have a big budget, so we're good, right? So you need to make sure you're talking to the right people. And there you go, good. As a solo baker, you need to make sure you niche down, because niching down is what helps you grow. So if you talk to many people, you sell zero, which means you have no money. But if you are maybe dealing with one niche that maybe has two segments, let me explain pearl cakes when I say one niche with two segments. Let's say you are dealing with luxury wedding destination. Here we go. Destination weddings that are luxury cakes. So this is a specific type of target market that wants a very expensive cake that's lavish and amazing in another destination, right? So that's like almost a double niche. Or somebody who's looking for convenience and allergy, and has allergies of gluten. So like gluten-free cookies, and we deliver to you anywhere. Oh, here's a good one. Gluten-free cookies for lactating mothers. So these are people who have problem with lactation. So number one, niche. And number two, they can't eat wheat. So do you see how I'm going with that? I hope that makes sense, pearl cake. So when you niche out, you're able to get results faster and then grow from that. And then you can go expanding your niche. Good question, pearl cakes. I'm seeing Cookie Encounter. As a home baker, you can't serve different niches because I don't have enough resources. Exactly. I'm sorry, guys, 1 minute. Exactly. My point is always, if you have a ton of resources, then yes, please, by all means, spend money on every niche and get a big team to help you focus on each niche. But if you are a small baker and you don't have a big budget, that's why I keep telling you to find a niche, because bakers will come to my DM, oh, I'm not making money. But then I ask you, who are you serving? And you're like, I'm doing cakes and pastries and weddings and this and so many things. So what happens is if you niche down, you're actually able to grow. Then what happens is you become a medium business with a big budget, and then you can start adding these other extra niches. So I hope that makes sense. Please make sure you know what your niche is. We have a brand called Chiffon Cakes by Mari. We do not take any other orders. We only do chiffon cakes. That is it. That's how niche I believe. That's how much I believe in niche, guys. Hit them love bubbles. Please comment. Thanks for the awesome questions in the comments. Pearl cakes, yes, awesome. I'm glad that makes sense. So I know a lot of the times we want to attract many people, but realize in the long run, it hurts us because we have to come up with so many strategies to deal with each niche. And every time somebody sees our messaging, it's so confusing. Like I'll see pearl cakes and then I'll see a wedding cake and I'm like, oh, exciting, I'm a bride to be. And then I'll see pastries. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to buy donuts for my wedding or something like that, right? So I'm not saying you can't have a range of products in a niche. Like there's celebration cakes and wedding cakes. You can do wedding cakes and still do celebration cakes, right? Because it's a celebration thing. You can do wedding cakes because they're seasonal, and then you can do celebration cakes and cupcakes, right? Bite size. But if you notice, it's in the same, kind of niche somehow in the same spectrum. I hope that makes sense. So that's what I'm talking about, right? So thank you for the awesome question. That was great. So costing and pricing, make sure that you have done it correctly. I've talked to you about a free group we have that you can join. So now, once you have costed and priced nicely, right? You know what you're selling. You know who you're selling to. You know what they need, right? You've got your niche and target market. Then now you can start marketing, right? You can actually start marketing after that. Why is marketing important, right? You have to market so that you have consistent sales, right? You can't sit there and hope I'm going to get clients every week, every month. It's not going to happen if you're not consistently letting people know I'm here. I sell these things, and you got to do that daily. In one of the trainings I was doing recently, we talked about having that a person before they buy have to see your brand 7 times. You have to see somebody's brand 7 times before you actually buy from them. Maybe on Facebook. If you're a big brand, usually it's on TV, maybe on newspapers, maybe on billboards. You see it a couple of times and like, I'll try it out after seeing 7 times. So online, a lot of people have to see your brand 7 times before actually buying from you. Why is this important? If you note, just to give an example on Amari, we post daily. Why? Because we know just because we have 15K followers doesn't mean all the 15K followers are seeing it. So we got to post different times and daily because we're hoping at one point a certain fraction of our followers will see based on, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube algorithm. Not everybody sees all your posts. So you got to keep posting to make sure, even if you didn't see it yesterday morning, you saw it today afternoon, right? So marketing is something you got to do consistently to make sure you have clients coming in. Before I continue, I've seen a comment by Cookie Encounter. Reason why I don't really have a niche is because I was trying to rack in sales from all avenues, but you're understanding what you mean by focusing on one thing and perfecting the art. I agree, Cookie Encounter. By the way, when you start trying to get sales from everyone, it may work the first few times. But the weird thing is that for your business to be sustainable, you can't sell everything. Not only do you exhaust yourself, you exhaust your marketing, because then over time you're confusing the people. They're not quite sure what you sell. And for me, if I am buying a specific thing, I'll go to a specific brand for that. If they start selling 10 million things, I might step back because I'm telling myself, these people have not perfected this one thing, right? So I'm buying hoping it's good enough. So I hope you understand that as a small business owner, guys, from 0 to 20 employees, you have limited resources. I have limited resources. We're about 6 to 8 people. So every little dime, every little penny counts, every little shilling counts. So I hope that makes sense, right? So remember, why are we marketing? Because we need to get consistent sales every week, every month, right? Every week or every month. We also want to let potential customers know we're here. What happens is that most people do not know that your brand exists. They don't know that you do cake. You mention a name, like you're like Cookie Encounter. They're like, oh, great, I've never heard of it. This is the first time. So what happens is that we market so that people first can buy from us. But over time, we're trying to let people know that we're here and we're still doing the thing that we are doing, right? I'm still here doing cookies. I'm still here doing wedding cakes. And you got to do that day in, day out, month, year, like that. That's how our business becomes sustainable. And so for you to do that, you've got to market and realize also you've got to turn your followers into clients. So what happens is people are like, oh, I just need followers on Facebook and Instagram. Do you know why we're looking for followers on Facebook and Instagram? It's that over time, and it could take months or years, I've had people DM us, come for class and tell us, oh, I started following you like 3 years ago, or we started following you 5 years ago. And then now we've bought, right? Thanks for the love bubbles on Instagram. Keep it going on Facebook, comment, and YouTube. So the reason why you have to keep marketing is because people, one, follow you, and then maybe they're not ready to buy from you at that time. Maybe I'm not ready to order that cake. Maybe I'm not ready for that wedding cake, but then maybe 2 years from now, I will get a fiance and then I'll be looking for a wedding cake. And I'm like, oh, I know who does wedding cakes. Are you getting me? So sometimes you get following, you market so that you get people who are potential clients. And then your job is to talk to them on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube and TikTok. And your point is to convince them why they should buy from you, right? So that's the concept when it comes to marketing. You want to do that and talk to people. Now, I'm huge on digital marketing. The reason being, it is the only way you can grow your business with less resources. If you don't have a ton of money and you're trying to grow your business, one of the cheaper ways of doing it is digital marketing, and especially social media marketing, but digital marketing, right? And so for that to be effective, I always tell bakers, the funny thing is that for you to actually attract the client you want, you have to understand your business first. And then you're able to market in a way that's geared toward attracting people. Like a perfect example is what I just told you guys. I am not marketing to medium businesses. I'm not marketing to large business owners. I am marketing to home bakers and small bakery shop owners up to 20 employees, because I know that requires a specific budget and way of running business. Once you start growing, that changes too. You don't market the way a small business doesn't market the way a medium business markets, right? So I have to understand my target market and their problems and their issues so I can be able to come up with a solution that they need and realize I have to understand them as well. The same goes for you. Even a baker who's selling cupcakes, I may realize that this person does not want a full cake. They only want a bite-sized cake. I gave you that example when we're talking about niche, and I was like, Bill has cupcakes. That's what we sell. We're selling to cake lovers who love bite-sized desserts, that's small things, right? So I'm catering to the people who don't want a whole cake or like a one cake. They don't even want a half kg cake. They want bite-sized desserts, right? That's the issue that they have. I am selling lactation cookies. These are moms who need, to start lactating. I am selling wedding cakes to brides. These are brides who are about to get married and they want this huge centerpiece that's going to look amazing and impress in this place. So as a baker right now, can you tell me what need you have, what need you're solving, or what problem you're solving? With that answer, then you can be able to come up with, and remember, you've done your costing and your pricing, right? And then you know your niche and your target market. And then now you're able to come and go like, oh, I'm going to market to them. And when I market to them, because I understand them so well, they're going to be like, that's me. Okay, I'm going to buy the thing from you, right? So if I talk to you and I'm like, oh my God, are you looking for cake that you don't have to scrape off on that? And somebody's going like, yeah, that's me. Cake that's very moist. And they're like, yeah, that's me. And they're like, buy from us. And they buy from us. Why? Because our chiffon cakes are very good. They're moist and they don't have fondant on them. Right? Are you looking for somebody who's looking for a custom cake for that child who wants like a frozen something or other? And that's very artistic, so they don't mind fondant. They're like, yeah, that's my child. They love this cartoon or they love this. And they're like, order from us. You're like, that's it. Realize for you to attract the right market, you have to market to them in a way that resonates with them and touches them and, speaks to their need. And that's how marketing works, right? So what I want to tell you guys is that when you identify your niche, target market, and you know how to cost and price, you'll be able to now start marketing in a way that attracts who you want. And if you're a small business owner or you're a home baker, I want to tell you that one of the cheapest ways of marketing your business is using digital marketing. When we say digital, we do mean a lot of things. There's websites, there's social media, there's email, but really social media is something you can start with because everybody's on it every day, at least 5 hours a day. Statistics has shown Kenyans online, on social media, not just online, on social media 5 hours, and I think more online. And so if you can just get in front of your audience and tell them something for those few seconds every day, and they see you, they're going to be like, I might order from this person or something like that, right? And so what it is coming up with tactics to attract your people while they are online, right? So the power of social media, it helps you build your brand and create awareness of what you offer by having a business profile, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok, guys. It's one of the few organic ways to grow your business, because as you've noticed, a lot of social media are no longer organic. Like Facebook is not organic, guys, unless you're posting on groups, right? Instagram is organic on Reels and maybe live. Those work. TikTok is only organic for a short period of time. So if you don't get on there and start talking to your people, you're going to find it's very, very, very saturated over time. It's getting saturated, guys. And when you get on TikTok, if you are on TikTok, make sure you're following us on Amari Foods, right? Amari Foods. If you get on TikTok, first place to look for Amari Foods. Okay. Thanks, guys. Hi, Sidekicks. How are you? So, guys, you can ask a few questions if you're interested. I'm coming to the end of my basically training, but I wanted to tell you guys on that note, on the whole, thanks for the love bubbles on Instagram. Thanks, guys. And Facebook. And you need to give me some love bubbles. And YouTube, we're still here. So I don't want to get into statistics, but there's statistics that show that social media is not declining. People are getting off social media. They're not. And especially thanks to the pandemic, they're not. They're more online, right? People want to connect more online. It's safer also to just order online and just have the thing come easier. It's also the best way to attract your client, right? Because you need to be where your client is. Marketing is getting the attention of your target market where they are. And if they're on social media, that's easy for you. You just need bundles for starters and time. And then over time, if you have a budget, ads. That's one of the things I cover in our mentorship, how to run ads and all that stuff, right? So action. If you've come late, it's okay. I will definitely repost this on IGTV today. We'll just make sure we do. Hi, Gourmet Confectionery. Thanks for the love bubbles on Instagram, guys. Thanks. So I want to recap as I finish and give you more information. The first thing I want you guys to do, if you haven't done it recently, I say recently because if you're in Kenya, you know how much we are having a lot of inflation happening. So prices of things are changing. The economy is a little different. So we've done our costing again. You need to recost because things are more expensive. And so what I want to tell you is that if you haven't done this already, cost and price accurately. Start by costing accurately and then pricing correctly. Remember, there is a free group we have, Amari Online Community. You can be able to join that and start costing and pricing well. Number 2, figure out what your niche is in your target market. Pearl Cakes marketing. You also incorporate that cost in your costing and pricing? Yes. Oh, yes, Pearl Cakes. Please. Everything you do that has something to do with your business has to be in there. Free samples, waste, marketing, professional. If you get a lawyer, accountant, or whatever to do that, it has to be in there. Is it repairs and maintenance of anything to do with the bakery? Gotta be in there. Is it cleaning agents and detergents? They got everything that has to do with your business, transport, delivery, whatever, has to be in there. And that's why I know most people are not costing correctly with some prices I'll look and I just know you haven't done your costing and pricing. Because in this day and age, there's some costs that are a little crazy, especially for home bakers. You see, I understand if Ken Bless charges a certain amount because they mass produce per day. So they're able to meet those expenses. But if you're a home baker and you're selling anything at 1,000 per kg, guys, check your costing. It is wrong. I can tell you that for free. So make sure you join that group and check out. It's a free group, Amari Online Community. Make sure you join that group and make sure you check out how pricing and costing is done. And most bakers are like, okay, I have costing price and I found it's very low. And so I have to change. You either want to give away money every day. And I'm pretty sure we're not all here to give money. Are we? We are not, guys. Let's just agree. We're not here for charity. We're here for business. If you have an expensive hobby, then that's cool. You don't need business advice. But if you're here to make money, we need to cost and price appropriately. And then you need to change that price right away. And the reason why I tell people all these things tie in, and I offer a solution because that's the only way you can get help, but you can also find help by yourself, is once you change your cost, then you really need to understand your client, because then you have to start marketing to different people because you've changed your price and most people, they're just going to not be happy that you're changing their price. You're going to get feedback that's going to be negative. And so that means you either need to find more clients, find your new clients in this new niche, in this new target market, niche out more, don't sell so many things, figure out who is willing to buy your product, the price you're selling at without friction. And that's just the reality of life, guys. Here's the other thing I tell people. You can opt yourself to start selling things cheaper and economize if that's something you want to do. Even cleaning products. Sweetheart, who is paying for those products, Joy? Think about it. Who? From your pocket? Do you really want to do that from your pocket? Thanks for the love bubbles, guys. I appreciate them. Do you really want to do that from your pocket? Everything that goes into your business should be paid by your business. You should stop taking from your pocket and put in your business. That's not business. That's an expensive hobby. So if you want to sit there and tell me, oh, I do business, do you? Do you really do business? Then every expense has to be accounted for into your cakes, and then you're a real business person. So you have to put everything in there. And I mean everything. If you hire someone, that has to be from there. And the reason why people keep complaining, oh, my business is not making money, that's because you don't price or cost and price correctly. So if you cost and price correctly, then you'll be able to actually make money from your business, right? So what's your action? Niche? What's your niche? What are you offering people? Who wants the thing you're offering, right? Who wants the thing you're offering? Are you solving a problem, or are you giving us things we don't need? Even as a baker, you need to offer people things they need, even if it's luxury products. I want something that makes me feel good. I want something that impresses people good. That's your niche. Figure out what your niche is. Target market. Who are the people who want the thing you're offering? There's people, like I told you, I can talk to large businesses and I don't have an offering for them because they have big budgets. They can, have 10 ads running at the same time per day, right? But I am talking to home bakers and I'm talking to small business owners. And so that's my target market. What's yours? Are you talking to cake lovers who have allergies, who like cheap products, who like expensive products? Who are you talking to? Do your costing and your pricing correctly. Number 3, market to those people. Understand them so well that when you talk to them, they're like, Cookie Encounter, you think you have an expensive hobby? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I'm laughing with you, sweetie. Let me just tell you that the first step to anything is acceptance. The fact that you have accepted this is good. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit down and you're going to do your costing, and then you're going to figure out what your niche is. So that's the thing about fixing stuff. Sometimes we get things wrong. The point is just fixing the thing that you got wrong. That is it. Once you fix that, you're good to go, right? So sit down, figure out your niche, target market, cost and price correctly, right? We have the resources. I've told you a free group where you can join, a Mari Online community. Do that. And then start doing your marketing. Here's the thing, guys. Like I said, I can give you free advice, but up to a point. There's some lives that cannot cover this. And this is why we have our upcoming Amari Online 3-month mentorship. And even if you don't join now, it's something you can start saving for later. This is a 3-month mentorship that covers all those things. We let you know, we kind of go through you how to write a business plan, how to come up with a niche, target market, and then now we start the costing and the pricing. We have a whole session on costing and pricing that's intensive, right? It's going to cover wedding cakes, custom cakes, batch productions, like if you're doing pastries, and also vanilla cake, like a home baker, kind of like 1 kg types of costing. And then we're going to show you how to start setting up your brand. Realize you have to understand what your brand is. What is my brand? What are my colors? What's my logo? You know what I'm saying? What's my character? How do I want to be known out there? And then from there on, you're going to just go like, how do I start marketing? And so we're going to show you how to start marketing, digital marketing, social media, how to run ads, how to start pages. You know what I'm saying? How to start writing copy that helps you start attracting the right clientele. So our mentorship has all those things because there's no way in a free session I can be able to share all those things. If you're interested, we have that information on our highlights. If you go to the highlights, you can also check our stories right now and just kind of get information on that, or DM us. We'll give you more details on that. So you basically can join that mentorship so that you're able to get all that information at a go. And you see, it's 3 months, right? We give you 2 months of content and 1 month to just kind of, go through that. Assignments are given. You get back on email. I get back to you personally. Everybody who emails their assignments to help you with your business. So if that's something you're interested in, please consider joining. As I almost come to the end of this, thank you for the love bubbles. Facebook, I hope I still have you guys, in YouTube. Make sure you say hi. And I saw a question. Cookie Encounter, please do proper costing today. You cannot afford. Hi, Rukia. You cannot afford to keep making sales. You're writing, I wonder why people say when you are a beginner, in order to get customers, you have to put lower prices and accept losses. I don't hang out with people like those, so I don't know that. Titan herself. I don't hang out with people like those. They're just the wrong crowd. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life, right? Because I disagree. The only thing I'd tell you when you're a beginner is that your labor, because your skill level might not be the same as an advanced baker, your labor might be slightly cheaper. And I mean slightly by not a lot, like not extreme. But as your skill goes higher, you also need to adjust. I've adjusted. How I was selling 10 years ago is not how I'm selling now, because I've adjusted that cost because my skill level is higher. And the same to anyone else, right? So you need to make sure that you're charging the right amount, but you cannot put lower prices and accept loss. Titan herself, losses mean that you're going to close business. I don't see how that is acceptable ever. So when you start, you might actually even say maybe less profit margin, but I still don't agree with that, because I feel like for you to grow, you need to put 25% and above to grow. Or you need to mass produce, which makes you a medium business and you're not. And remember, today we're talking about home bakers and small business owners. That means a small business is like up to 20 employees, right? So if you're in that bracket, you need to cost and price acceptably. You need to make sure you're making money, because as you've seen Cookie and Culture say, it's an expensive hobby. If you're giving away cakes and selling at a loss, that's not a business. That is a hobby that is very expensive. Now, here's my disclaimer on the losses. When you start, yes, you will make losses because of a certain maybe amount of quantity you're not making. Maybe you price by saying that, and for you guys, please join that costing class so what I'm saying will make sense. Maybe you've priced knowing that you're going to be selling 10 cakes a month. Realize when you're new, sometimes you're not going to sell 10 cakes. You're going to sell 8 or 7 and then 10 sometimes. But the point is, as you market over time, the 10 should go to 15 and 20, which means now your pricing is on point. If you're pricing for 10 cakes, you're actually making more money because you're selling 15 or 20. Now, that segment, that first part, we call it the startup segment of a business, you will make losses, but because you have a business plan, again, one of the things we talk about in our mentorship, if you have a business plan, then you have already accounted for the fact that you're going to make losses the first year, because after that, what you're going to do is start making profits. That doesn't mean you should cost for loss. You should not. You should always cost for profit. But as a business, realize that the first, a business is like a baby. The first months, it's going to need some help, right? But as it grows, it should not need help. It should be on its feet. And so that's why we talk about having a profitable business, meaning, yes, you started at losses. At one point, you were breaking even. That means you were selling and then using the same expenses, right? Like I sold 100K and I used 100K. That's breaking even. And then now after that, you start making profit. That means that you're selling a lot and then you're using, but you're leaving some money and then maybe putting it back in the business. So Titan, thank you for that comment. And I hope this has made sense a lot to you. So guys, realize you cannot be costing and accepting losses. No, like when you're starting, yes, you may make a loss, but there's the concept of having startup money and working capital money, like money to run your business for a few months. Again, like this is so in depth because we cover it in the mentorship. If you really, really, really consider, if you want to ask, just DM and ask about our mentorship. And we have had a lot of people who have had breakthroughs of, oh my God, this is what I needed in my business. So I always tell people, sometimes you think you don't need it, you need it. You need the in-depth information so you stop running an expensive hobby and you start running a business. Rookie, I see you need the costing classes. We do have a free group, the Amari Online Community, that has a very simple costing lesson. You can join that. Our mentorship that's coming up, you can check our link on Facebook, check our stories on Instagram, on YouTube. Links will be shared. There's a costing class in our mentorship that is really, really just gonna really help. Cookie Encounter. So since I don't really have a niche, you saying I should cut down on the variety of products you sell, then focus on a specific niche. When do I then move to the actual niche I want to serve? Why don't you want to serve that? Why don't you choose that niche that you want to serve? I mean, I don't understand why you don't want to do it. Cookie, please share that. Because if I wanted to do the chiffon cake niche, and that's what I did. So I'm not quite sure what would stop you from being the niche. Another thing I shared on day one, or is it day two? There's somebody who asked, they have a shop and I don't have a target market. And I said, your target market can be the income level. Like maybe you sell pastries and the pastries are many, they're small bite-sized pastries. That's okay if they're many. Like you can have cookies, cupcakes that are from a particular kind of income level, like maybe low budget, income level, cookie, whatever, all that stuff, right? Sorry guys, I gotta charge something on laptop to go off. So if you have a certain type of market that's looking for budget products, that's a niche. That's a niche. Pastries from a budget kind of people. So the tricky thing about that is that if you have that kind of niche, like a shop, you either have to have like, we have to sell a certain number of things. Like for example, if you're in a shop that's doing cookies, donuts, and cupcakes, you have to tell yourself every month we have to sell, 100 cookies, 100 donuts, and maybe like 1,000 cupcakes to make enough profit or enough of our expenses to run the shop, right? So this is, again, one of the things that get really deep in the mentorship. So there's a science to that. So when you choose to do many things, the point is then you have to mass produce and sell a lot. And sometimes, like I said, home bakers and small business owners are not able to do that. But if you have a shop, maybe you can be able to do that. You see, you have to realize what your setup is. If you have a big shop that's in the middle of a CBD, like a central business district, yes, in a capital city, you can be able to do some of those things. But then what happens that you mass produce it and you push quantity so that it makes you enough sales to do the monthly expenses. But if you're not able to do that cookie, what happens is that you are trying to sell everything and you're not selling enough of everything. And then that means you're making a loss. And again, you are exhausted because you're a small business owner or solopreneur. You will not be able to reach everyone. When I talk about niche, you can have a shop that can keep to a range of products. And then you you push a lot of those things to people. Cookie, I'm still waiting to see whatever it is the niche you want. But here's another thing I can tell you. Niche down. Grow your business and make the sales. As you start growing your business, niche out, like spread your niche, right? So you can start selling cookies only, then you grow big, and then after some time, you start selling cookies and cakes and all that. But that's because people already know your brand, and so they're coming in daily and they're buying a lot of stuff. So I hope that makes sense. So Cookie Encounter, I hope you understand that you can start by niching, and that grows your brand and your business and your sales grow. And then when you're making a lot of sales a month, you can start adding other things and segmenting your niche. Like I'm in this niche and this one, because they all walk into my shop or because they all